1972 was, without a doubt, one of the most amazing years in rock history. Maybe not the best, but definitely packed with iconic releases. The bands were on fire, dropping albums that still influence music today, whether it's heavy riffs, trippy vibes, groove, or pure attitude. So buckle up for a sonic trip through the 10 great rock albums released in 1972. After 3 super heavy albums, Black Sabbath started to branch out. The band was already huge, but also drowning in insane tours and mountains of cocaine. The pressure was real, and they clearly wanted to sound different without losing that dark core. While recording in Los Angeles, things got wild. The label nearly lost it with the costs. A big chunk reportedly going to illicit substances, but that's also where the legendary Changes came from, showing a more emotional and unexpected side of the band. A risky move that totally paid off. The album is Volume 4, and it shows Sabbath flirting with experimental on tracks like Laguna Sunrise, while still dropping massive riffs on Supernaut and Snowblind, one of their boldest records ever. Get ready for some heavy, trippy sonic punch. Mark Bolan was at the top of his glitter rock game. With his flashy look and double entendre lyrics, he was already the face of a generation craving sparkle, swagger, and groove. After the massive success of Electric Warrior, expectations were high, and he knew it. With slick production from Tony Visconti and even Ringo Starr filming behind the scenes, the vibe was pure rock star energy. Bolan embraced the glam life fearlessly and made everything shine even brighter. Between the excess and those mysterious smiles, a glowing classic was born. That classic is a slider, packed with groove, sass, and insanely catchy hooks. Think Metal Guru and Telegram Sam. A glam rock masterpiece at its finest. Time to feel the irresistible charm of this sound.
I have never kissed a car before. It's Telegram Sam. You're my name. I see the winter coming in too thin. Caddy gonna walk up on a water glow. Are you my main man? Are you now?
Between tax problems and drug drama, the Stones escaped to France and set up a DIY studio in the basement of a mansion Keith Richards had rented. Total chaos. They recorded at night, had random guests dropping in, and everything was kind of out of control. It was a messy but wildly creative moment. The album was born out of sweat, chaos, and straight-up spontaneity. The band was exhausted, but freer than ever. They recorded blues, gospel, country, and raw rock. Everything sounded rough, almost unfinished, and totally magical. The result? Exile on Main Street, a double album full of gems like Rocks Off and Tumbling Dice. A wild ride that captures the Stones at their rawest and most visceral. Let's dive into the sweaty basement vibes right now.
I hear you talking when I'm on the street. Shake your hip, man. Shake your hip, man. Come on down, sweet Virginia. Baby, won't you keep me happy? Need a good Lord, shine the light on you. It's the Christmas Eve on the
The German scene was bubbling with bands pushing rock's boundaries. Ken was already one of the weirdest and most brilliant names in the krautrock game. They mix hypnotic grooves with off-the-wall experiments, creating something truly one of a kind. For Ege Bamyasi, they locked themselves in an old cinema in Cologne. They slept there, recorded at night, and lived off canned Turkish food. Hence the album's name, which means Aegean okra in Turkish. It was a chaotic process full of jams and sound collages. This album shows Ken at their funkiest and most accessible, but still totally trippy. Vitamin C and Spoon stand out as hypnotic powerhouses. Get ready to dive into a sound that bends logic and gets addictive fast. After some moderate success with albums like Look at Yourself, Uriah Heep was ready to prove they were more than just another hard rock band. They hit the studio hungry to lock in a more epic identity, blending fantasy themes and grand keyboard work. The album came as almost a response to what bands like Deep Purple and Yes were doing, trying to carve out a unique path between heavy rock and progressive complexity. Guitarist Mick Box and singer David Byron were at their peak, and new drummer Lee Kerslake added fresh energy to the mix. That's how Demons and Wizards came to life. A magical album with classics like Easy Livin' and The Wizard, a rare balance of heavy riffs and lyrical journeys. Crank it up and feel the mystical power of this enchanted rock.
He had a cloak of golden eyes, just out there somewhere traveling in time. Keep them away, and pretty soon we'll pay. Rainbow demon, pick up your heart.
Be sure to check out our list of albums that every self-confessed progressive rock fan should know. Click the card at the top of your screen. With international fame already solid, Deep Purple wanted to bottle up their live energy in the studio. The problem? A fire at the casino they planned to record and forced a last-minute scramble. They ended up recording everything in a hotel.
We all came out to Montreal, Age and me.
The whole smoke on the water story comes straight from that chaos. Recorded in Montreux, the album had a guerrilla vibe. Totally improvised setup, but band at their creative and powerful peak. The result is Machine Head, one of the all-time hard rock milestones. Highway Star, Lazy, Space Truckin', every track hits hard and feels timeless. Now, hold on tight for those immortal riffs and the full blast of this legendary album.
Nobody can take my hand. I got this being inside my brain. Somebody shouting out of the mountain. Only my own words with smoke on the water.
Melodic sounds and twin guitar harmonies, Wishbone Ash was earning respect on the British scene. But they still needed that one album to really level up. Argus was it, blending rock, prog, and a touch of folk. The recording sessions had a focused vibe, with the band diving into medieval themes and epic journey vibes. The twin guitars of Andy Powell and Ted Turner are the real stars, like knights dueling on stage. Argus is a refined work, with standout tracks like The King Will Come and Time Was, a record that nails the balance between poetry and power. Feel the beauty and force of this sonic epic. Mott the Hoople was on the verge of calling it quits, tired of releasing solid albums that never quite broke through. That's when a game-changing offer came along. None other than David Bowie, a big fan, handed him a song and took over production and totally saved the band. With fresh energy and creative touch of a true glam master, the album marked a full-on turnaround, full of shine, attitude, and sticky hooks. A gift that flipped the band's story like magic. The name? All the Young Dudes, with the title track becoming a generational anthem. An album that oozes style and heart. Now feel the magic of the chameleon in this glorious reinvention.
Sweet Jay.
After Peter Frampton left, people thought Humble Pie might fall apart. But Steve Marriott, with his endless energy and Small Faces experience, took the wheel hard. He aimed for a rawer, dirtier, more soulful record and totally nailed it. The sessions were intense, with the band going all in on a heavy, bluesy, almost soul-infused sound. They recorded live in the studio, channeling the raw energy of their stage shows. Marriott sings like it's his last breath. Smokin is a bomb of a record. Check out tracks like 30 Days in the Hole and Hot and Nasty. It's heavy, it grooves, and it got serious attitude. Time to feel that searing rock and roll burn from the 70s classic.
Hey Joe, don't forget to shake it while you're slipping on that Come on, everybody, let's get together tonight. 30 days in the hole. 30 days on the road, runner, baby. Can't
Alice Cooper was already known for theatrical shows and shock visuals, but he wanted more than controversy. He wanted real concept and musicianship. School's Out came as a shout of freedom, full of rebellious spirit and true identity. Produced with a Broadway-style touch, the album mixes hard rock, swing jazz, choral bits, and ballads, all with that teenage anarchist movie vibe. Alice and the band were sharp and ready to stir things up. The album is School's Out, with the title track blowing up on every radio station. Other songs like Public Animal No. 9 show the band's range. Get ready to smash the school desk and rock out with serious style and attitude.
Into my jeans, looking hard. When you're a jet all the way from your first cigarette. Come on, you people, you know you really should come to me. But that's the price you pay to be public animal. Everybody, I hope that I would see you again.
1972 really brought the heat, huh? Honestly, it was tough picking just 10. Now it's your turn. Let us know in the comments which album hit you the hardest or which one you'd add to the list. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with your fellow rock lovers. See you in the next video.